And I want to talk about op technique. So notice how you peek as you zoom in here. I would say this is typically the technique I go for as well, right? Because it gives you the most movement speed. I don't know if this is best technique because I've seen 10s do the opposite. Notice how he zooms in before he peeks, right? Zoom in, peeks, and then he double zooms, you see? Peeks, double zoom. That's his op technique. This is literally how he always takes narrow angles. He zooms in, peeks, double zoom. When I saw this, I was like, huh, that's kind of weird. Why would you not zoom in as you're peeking? You winning? Are you winning, son?
No.
No?
Not at all. Quite the opposite.
Not yesterday, yeah. Damn.
I think I've only won one game this week.
1 game out of 10? 1 out of 10. It happens. Rough.
And that was the game where it all clicked. I wanted to send that VOD in, but then the file got corrupted.
Unlucky. The Lotus game went pretty good.
Closest game.
I see.
Yeah, it was that one.
Okay. I said, damn, my man's voice a little spicy. He does have a good voice. So Kit says, spending too much downtime doing rounds still. Finding it more awkward now trying to push on post plant with Jett compared to Raze. Makes sense. And I'm trying and am in figuring out ways, going to watch more Durka and Forsaken about that. I feel like my aim has been off all week, losing confidence in myself and my plays because I've been losing so much recently. So I'm adopting a more passive and scared playstyle that I'm trying to get out of. Sometimes overcompensating and getting too aggressive, not allowing my teammates to trade me. My cast started going down and then I started losing. So I have a feeling it might be timing on the way I play. Entry timing, retake timing, mid-rounding, etc. I'm incredibly narcissistic when it comes to Val, always thinking that I'm better than everyone else in the lobby, even when I'm bot fragging, until there is a switch to a given up state where I feel like I can't do anything for my team during this game. Last week's notes we had, let's see, defense, combo fights with util. This was very specific, I imagine. If you're using early util, that means you're trying to get map control. I don't remember the note. Was this bind? This was early boombot maybe?
This was bind, yeah. Early boombot is short.
Gotcha. Take note of bomb plant positions on retakes. Downtime on the rounds too much, jiggling a short 25 seconds, but we also throw a boombot. Think more so about where we're taking action, or where action is, rather than dealing with lurkers. Okay. Second one, try to hunt for a kill on the post plant, so just trying to be a little bit more active there. Like you said, it's a little bit easier on Raze than it is Jett. And focus on making space less entering. Okay. Round 2, we push B with Silver Dart. Push this off noise.
Present. Could be cat.
I was gonna push off a flash.
I see.
Or swing off a flash.
Like Omen Blind?
Like Omen Blind, Phoenix Flash, KO Flash.
Okay.
Since I had so many, I just didn't want to peek right at the start of the round.
I'm still here.
How much on that?
He doesn't end up being there. He timing me.
Well, obviously we do push B. I don't think pushing B is bad. You do have to note that our teammates are also kind of like playing 3A side. And what I mean by that is like they have the chance to aggress A main. So you might want to wait to go for this peak rather than what you see on your end with the flash and all that. You try to see, you time your peak based on what you see on the other side of the screen. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So it'd be more just holding here.
Yeah. Let me actually share my screen to you actually. Yeah. So again, they playing 3A, we play 2B. We should definitely be on a safer setup. And then you can start aggressing B based on what the A players see. In this case, our A players actually see nothing. Or they fall back quickly. I don't know. But you notice how your first contact here, you're the first player that sees anyone on minimap when we're technically weak side. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just riskier. But if you're going to go for this type of peak this early on and not really worried about, like not, how should I say this? You're going for this play without really understanding what's going on over here. It means that you have to be super thorough when you go for this peak, right? And as you can see, it's kind of lazy here. You do go for the Diddy peak, whatever, but you don't really clear any of these other angles first before you go for this one. So it's risky in that sense. And then obviously the pre-aim's a little bit off, but you have to be a little bit more thorough here considering there is no pressure on the other side of the map. At least we don't get contact on the mini map to confirm that. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah. So quick summary on CT side when pushing out of the weak site, you have to be a lot more careful and likely fall back faster as well. Yeah.
And you kind of want to make your push on weak side if strong side gets info first. Like you want them to get contact. If you're going to push weak side here, then you definitely need a Silver Dart at the very least. And then I want to talk about op technique here. So notice how you peek as you zoom in here, right? Peek as you zoom in. I would say this is typically the technique I go for as well, right? Because it gives you the most movement speed. I don't know if this is best technique because I've seen tens do the opposite where he zooms in already before he peeks and then he double zooms on the angle. Notice how he zooms in before he peeks, right? Zoom in, peeks, and then he double zooms, you see? Peeks, double zoom. That's his op technique. This is literally how he always takes narrow angles. He zooms in, peeks, double zoom. When I saw this, I was like, huh, that's kind of weird. Why would you not zoom in as you're peeking? But I think one of the reasons why he does this is it lets him get the second zoom in as he's peeking. Like, because you can't automatically start on a double zoom, right? And double zooms, I think, make for easier shots, obviously when the target is further away. But two, because he's already zoomed in, it's kind of like when you pre-aim, your crosshair is already aimed and then you just peek out. But to do it with an op, you do kind of need to be zoomed in. So maybe it's just a little bit more intentional with this crosshair placement like this. But I've seen this common habit, like this common technique out of 10s every single time. Zoom in, double zoom, peek. Like he kind of times the double zoom with his movement. But like the difference here, obviously, is you're zooming in as you're peeking, which is a little bit different, and that's how I do it as well. But obviously I'm not a great opper, so I just want to note that as like maybe this is something you can try experimenting with. Different op technique. Zoom in, then double zoom as you're peeking. Okay, maybe the other thing I want to point out this round is that after you take the shot on the KO, where is it here? Wait, that was this jump peek, right? You miss, just immediately throw that smoke. So then you can either cross back to spawn to go A, or so you can smoke, pop dash, and then swing out of it again. Just immediately doing that smoke just gives you like a quicker option instead of sitting here. Because like, because we sit here, you see the downtime. Right? If you just smoke and rotate, you would have been rotating at 122. Let's see how long a rotate takes. 113. So it's like an additional 9 seconds just because you don't immediately smoke after your shot. Because like it doesn't look like you want to take that fight anyways, right? You're 45 HP. So you just throw the smoke and get out, you know? The best Jetts reposition their op like instantly. The goal when you rotate, and it is very situational, but when I'm mid-ish area here and I have an op, I'd rather try to rotate into heaven so I can get the op line into main. And then if I don't get this op line, or if they're splitting up cat, then I can drop down into site and then take the line from here. Comparatively, we rotated in this scenario towards tree, and you did get the kill on the omen. The only reason why I am a little bit hesitant to rotate into tree is because normally if you rotate from mid to A and they're doing an A split, there will be a smoke here. So it almost feels kind of redundant, but you have to stall anyways. Like you have to wait out the smoke because it's going to be hard for you to push through the smoke with an op. So most of the time you do kind of want to opt to go for your rotate to heaven if you're coming from mid or B and you have an op. Because like most of the time, even if they do smoke heaven, you can just pop dash and swing out of it. That's not a big deal. Okay, so again, you've heard me say this before, I bet. Take the shot, dash back, just throw a smoke again on the other side of the smoke so it threatens you swinging again. At the very least, it might distract them so that your Sova can get another timing. If you're really aggressive, then you can actually just use that smoke that you dash back from to swing through it again. You want them to think that you're fighting again so that Sova's not alone on site. Or you throw a smoke something like this so it fleshes out a little bit more. And if you're really aggressive, like after you dash back, you try to run back up and you come back on the right side and peek this way. And the smoke gives you cover from the left side, but it makes a little bit more pressure, you know? So if you ever have downtime like that, like using that smoke can make pressure and also give you an opportunity to reswing. Because like obviously you're juggling learning Jett and Raze at the same time. So you're like, you have to learn two different agents in terms of technique and habits and like best practice and stuff like that. Look, even here, you can just see on this clip, right? Jett, something gets a kill, dashes away, smokes the floor just because he's getting rushed, right? Or this is Aspas actually. But you can see that smoke gives him something to play around. And that's the idea, is like, you always want to be thinking about how can I throw my smoke to give my chance to play around it. Because like the best Jetts, like aside from your dash, the only tool that Jetts really have is your smoke, right? So you have to be really skilled or comfortable with using your smoke. This is how you become a good Jett. Gets a kill, dashes away, goes for another kill, updrafts, smokes again, goes for another kill. Like this guy is like, he's only hunting for kills. Whereas like you compare it to us, right? We take one shot and we're gone. I'm not saying that's a bad play here. I'm just saying you just don't have that Jett energy, right? This is it. That was your behold. One shot, dash away. And now you're Sova stranded on an island. Whereas like you watch any of these other Jett players, they would throw smokes like that and like spam the smoke or look for another shot or, you know, go for something else, right? But like immediately after that shot, you're just like, yep, good luck, Sova. And if they took the site right there, they kill your Sova, your teammates are all rotating with you when you're technically the B supporter, right? You're the B rotator because you're the mid player. If your Sova dies here, you're in retake and you have an op. And retaking with the op obviously isn't ideal. Up dash, contact up. Yeah, it's a good... Yeah, it's a good contact play here, but you need dash active. This is like a normal Jett thing, is where like your pacing is pretty quick because your teammates use util. You're walking up for the duel, which is great. You might as well just pop your dash because like you're almost guaranteed to get a duel here, right? Like they're not just gonna leave market uncontested. So when you get that duel, if you do get this kill with your dash active, that means you can either dash forward, either here or here, to gain that space and take that space instantly, which is an aggressive play. Or if you feel like you're losing the duel or there's like multiple people here, then you have the dash. But because you don't prep that dash at all, you just get the kill and then nothing happens. But if you did have dash active, you could just immediately dash in the market right there if you wanted to.
I just walk up and walk up.
Enemy kill.
They're getting the kills though.
Let's we just fucking run.
Wow.
Yeah.
I should have lost that. This round is when I start to get hyper aggressive.
Market.
No dash still though. Where's our dash?
Yeah.
Market.
Like we're not even playing the fucking agent.
I feel like I save my dash too much.
Yeah, you just gotta pop that
Or
thing.
I try and find the optimal place for my dash. Like I'm trying to min-max it or some shit.
Yeah. You think Jett brains care about that shit? No.
I don't think I'm gonna cross.
Dude's gonna.
Like you would have dash active here because you're scaling up. Yeah, like, yeah. Like you're even swinging here without dash active. Like, I don't really know what's going through the process of, aside from I'm not entering yet. Like you're not close enough to the site to dash out. But you can even argue with this drone that you would dash into the smoke just to make space, like the tree smoke. Like you don't even have that option because your dash isn't active. Like if you think you're about to fight and you have dash, you just pop it. Just keep it simple. Like right now we're not even using it. So step one is to actually just use this thing. Flash dash. Pop dash. Yep. Damn, we didn't even wait for the smoke to pop. Look. That guy could have easily spammed you. I mean, maybe it's just a bad game, but we're not seeing any good Jett technique at all. Like you dash before the smoke popped. Where even our entry pathing, it wasn't the top gen dash that is like the most common for Jetts to do on this map with Jett knives, like the updraft dash up here.
Yeah.
Maybe to put it.
We'll say this isn't just a bad game.
Okay.
This is just how I've been playing recently.
So with Jett specific, it looks like we're just not comfortable on Jett. We're like, I've seen, to put it bluntly, I've seen like plat Jetts like a little bit more prep than you have. Like they know how to use their dash. Not all of them. Some of them suck ass. Right? But some plat Jetts I've seen like do use their dash with the smoke, and like they know the entry pathing, and that, you know, they know to pop dash before the drone and stuff like that. Right? I'm not saying that's like everything, but like the bar should be much higher because you're an ascendant, right?
Yeah.
It should be much higher. Like what I expect to see out of ascendant Jetts isn't really the basics here. It's more so like I was expecting to see like maybe some post plant stuff, like like doing one ways in the post plant, you know, like oh we're in the post plant, I'll play here, one way that, you know, things like that. Like we're not even able to actually get into that conversation yet because we're still at step one. Like we do just have to figure out how to play Jett. So that doesn't mean like you can't play Jett. I think Jett is like relatively simple to learn, difficult to master, right? But the basics are obviously popping dash, smoking, looking at some entry pathing, and timing your util, or timing your dash and execute with teammates util. Like those are the basics. So I would revisit that before you do anything else, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we can just stop there. We can revisit Jett basics / fundamentals, because this is where we need to build off of before we go forward. But it'd still be good to pop dash taking a 1v1 with your top cat with a vandal and their market with a marshal. No, I don't think you need to for that duel, unless you think you're gonna get swung from the guy cat. But if you have cat smoked off, then you probably don't need to. But for Kit's case here, I would maybe even recommend just to use the dash there, because if you're anticipating that fight, then that's fine.
Use
like
the dash to get used to using the dash.
Yeah, because we're not using the dash. And you know, the band-aid fix for this would just be to slap you on Reyna and go play Reyna. Because like Reyna, all you have to do is use flash. But I don't think you want the band-aid solution. So
No.
But that would
I've
explain why we're struggling recently. Like at least to me, our Jett looks very basic. And when you compare it to your raise util, for example, like your raise util is much more advanced than this. Like way higher level. Like if I was just to put some arbitrary numbers on it, our Jett util usage is like a 2 out of 10, and our raise util usage is like an 8 out of 10. But your Jett win rate obviously is higher than your raise, and maybe that's just because the op is, you know, elo stick. But
Yeah.
you're like never like. Thank you for making it this far. If you found this video helpful, please consider joining my Discord server to get more helpful resources. And also, YouTube thinks that you will find this next video helpful.